What's up to all my party people out there? Oh, hey, didn't see you there. What's up? I'm Stav, and we're live for the Good Game Report podcast, coming in hot with episode number 2 of the long weekend. It's going to be another nutty one on deck right now. We got some good stuff that we want to talk about. And if you're watching out in Twitch chat right now, what's up? Welcome. Thanks for coming. If you're listening in the future, what's up? Thanks for listening. We got a stacked podcast. We're going to be talking retro gaming with our guests. We got some gaming news. We got some new Call of Duty stuff we want to hit on. Epic Games had a big week. PlayStation 4 some more crazy deals, which I just keeps coming out with. They're just doing all this nuts stuff. We got some Daymare 1998 information that we're gonna throw at you, and then we're gonna talk about game reviews and other types of reviews, because it's just endless when you want to review whatever you want. I review White Claws all the time; they're great. For this podcast, we are joined by my co-host, as always, Mendy. Can I get a year?
Year.
Can we get a double year?
Year.
I wonder if people actually hate that. They can't, because the years love the years. Mendy, thanks for joining.
Shout out to all my years.
Big preach. And our guest for the podcast, Good Game Report streamer, MattsGeekCorner. Maddie, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining. How are you doing on this fine Monday evening?
I am doing great. I did not have the day off, so had to go to work today.
Ooh, thanks for taking one for all the non-workers today. Big preach when it comes to that. Well, thank you for joining. I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
We've been trying to get you on, and it just worked out. We got you on this weekend, so big preach for coming by. And for the people listening out there right now, Matt does retro games, and it's a very cool genre that it's not very mainstream for people to stream retro games, but everybody's kind of connected in retro games because that's what they started playing. And you're just the vibes where you just do it all the time now. And I think that's why we connected so well. We're just like, dude, we need someone that does retro games. And you were like, yeah, I'm in. So how did we first get connected? Good Game Report, Matt's Geek Gaming. How did this come about?
Well, I want to say it was Mr. Zombie, who is a member in Good Game Report. He messaged me on Instagram one day because I was posting a bunch of content, like little game clips here and there, and he asked me if I was part of any gaming discords or streaming discords. So I said no. I mean, I was part of a few, but they weren't very active. So he invited me to join that one. And I would post when I would go live and everything. And one day, Craigo asked me if I wanted to be part of the stream team. And I think Stav had followed me sometime before that because he asked me if I was drinking a beer, and it was a cherry limeade IBC bottle. And so I had to say, no, it's not a beer. It's root beer. And then pretty much, yeah, Craigo made me part of the team. And then that's how I believe I met Mendy. I want to say maybe I'm having deja vu, but I thought you had followed me twice on Twitch because I saw you once and then I saw you again, and I'm like, wait a minute, this person already followed me. So
I thought you were going to say Instagram. I was like, I have like 5 Instagram accounts, but maybe I unfollowed you and then I refollowed you again just so I could see it live.
Probably. Mendy did that to me. He said he followed me and was so disgusted at my gameplay, he unfollowed me on Twitch and said, I spit on you. And then we ended up playing video games like every night 3 months after that, and now he follows me again. So yeah, I know the feeling when it comes to that.
I mean, I've had people follow me from like several different accounts. I'm like, hey, more power to you.
Yeah. We'll take all the follows that we can get when it comes to that. Matt, can you just give us like a little breakdown of, kind of who you are, what you do? Like I said, you do the retro gaming stuff, but you could probably summarize that a little bit better than me just saying he does retro gaming stuff.
So I'm a big fan of the old school PlayStation, PS1 games, PS2, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Oh man, N64. Pretty much everything that we played growing up is what I like to play. The only systems I didn't own were probably Sega CD, um, the crap that Atari threw out, the Jaguar, and the 3DO because that thing was like $1,000. So my only time playing those was in the gaming stores like Software, etc., pre GameStop, EB Games, stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much that's about it for the retro. I mean, I've owned almost every Nintendo system, every Sega system, every PlayStation. I still have all of them except for my original PS1. That one unfortunately died on me after I gave it to my sister.
Oof.
Big rip.
Big oof. Big
The
oof.
bearings fell out. I couldn't play discs anymore. I was like, whatever, PS2 plays them, so that's cool.
No.
I love seeing the like it has its own category, retro gaming, when you just do browsing. And like we've mentioned this multiple times on the podcast, like you just have a connection to those older games and the older systems because it just brings back, like, it just hits different when you play those games. And you kind of look back and you're just like, oh, I remember when I was 12 and I was playing this, the Bond games, this just brings me so back. And it's just really cool, someone in the community that does this and takes this avenue and allows, gives me a good connection to come over and watch it. It's really fun. I love going into your streams and kind of reliving some of my childhood. And you have to do that every time you play video games, which is awesome. So
yeah, I call that pre-adulting. So when I play the retro stuff, even if it's off stream, like a lot of these remasters, like the Metal Gear Solid remaster collection, it came out on PS3, the Devil May Cry collection. When those all came out and I'm playing through them again 10, 15 years after they originally came out, it just makes me think back to when I used to play those games when I was in high school. All the good times I had playing them, all the frustrating memories I had from the Devil May Cry games, playing those on the hardest difficulty, the amount of controllers I broke back in the day. They were all Mad Catz controllers, so those weren't the best. But it's a good feeling playing through those games, and even in the streams when I'm playing through them, I'll tell people or the audience, I'll say, yeah, I got this game at Blockbuster when they were getting rid of the original PS1 games. I got a bunch of them for $5. Some of them didn't work very well because they had been played so much, but there's always a story to every game that I play in the retro stream, unless it's one that I didn't play originally and it's like first time playing it. Then I really don't have too many stories for those.
Mendy, I never asked you if there's one retro game that you look back at that you just was like all time love, like one game that you can always connect to. Don't do a Mendy on this one and forget what your favorite old game is. But
I thought you were gonna say don't say Rocket League this time around.
It's probably still gonna be Rocket League. On Saturday we discussed my favorite game is Zelda. So if you had your favorite retro game, what would it be?
I'm thinking back at like N64 days, like Super Smash Bros. And stuff like that. But I also had Sega Genesis, and there was this game called, I don't know if you know this, Matt, there's a game called Earthworm Jim.
Yes.
I love that game.
You just asked the retro genie himself if he knew what a game was.
I was worried that I was going to say something, and then he was going to be like, yeah, I don't even know that game. You just completely made that up.
I love that game.
That's a good game,
burps, right? Burps, farts, boogers.
Toilets flying everywhere.
Probably not a kid's game, but I played it on the Sega channel. I don't know if you remember that. It was Games Pass.
Yeah.
But it went through your cable provider, and half the time it didn't work. And when it did, it was great. You got to play like 200 Sega games, but Earthworm Jim was always on there.
I think AJ mentioned that. I never heard of that before, but AJ mentioned that, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I didn't even know that was a thing.
What's this game you just said? Earthworm and Fire?
Earthworm Jim
and boogers and what were you saying, Matt?
So he's this character. I want to say his name is Psychro. He's a crow in a spacesuit, and he he makes this suit, right? And this is how they explained it in the Xbox version, the Xbox arcade version, and even in the cartoon that they made. The suit falls to Earth, lands on an earthworm. Earthworm gets all these superpowers in the suit, and he
He has
has
like a
a
whip and a gun.
his head is used as a whip. He uses a plasma gun. There's dogs that look like piles of vomit, to be honest. And there's crows that are trying to kill him because he's a
He's a
earthworm.
worm.
And there's some crazy levels in there. There's one, like the final level is called Welcome to Buttville or something. Level 5 is literally called Level 5. His best friend is I want to say a beagle, and when you piss him off, he turns into like this Incredible Hulk type monster and just attacks you. Because there's, I think, one level where you're supposed to protect him, and if you screw it up, he just whoops your ass royally. And then there was a sequel, which was
Oh, good. That
even
game
more
definitely needs a
crazy.
sequel. Yep.
I think it
was
has a
even more
couple
cra-
remakes actually. I think-
Yeah. They made one for N64, which wasn't as good, but the
Yeah.
part you asked about the boogers, his backpack has a puddle of snot in it. Because there's one level where you're bungee jumping against a giant booger, and you're trying to knock him off his snot rope while you're on your rope too.
Stav is so out on like another world right now.
I'm trying to process all this, and here we
Oh,
got
it's a
boogers.
real
We got
It's a
the
great
guy
game.
uses his head as a whip.
Well, he's a worm, so like his head, he just kind of uses as a whip, and that's how he kills the crows and stuff.
Mendy, I'm never asking you about retro games ever again. After we just went
I
down that avenue.
knew Matt would know. Thank you for.
And what's funny is this company is the same company that made, I believe, Enter the Matrix and the Path of Neo Matrix game.
I
So
didn't know that.
there's that. Yeah, they made some serious games.
Mendy, you couldn't have just said simply just like Sonic or something like that. Just very easy. It would have been so much easier,
More
discussion we
relatable
just
for a
had.
fan base, but no, I went with some random game.
I need 5 Advils right now because I don't know what just happened right there.
Oh, I'll definitely play it, so you'll get to see what that's like.
Oh,
That'll be awesome.
Thank you. Greatly I can't wait to watch Earth, Wind, and Fire Jim Worm or whatever.
Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim. Wow. Well, thank you for that, Mendy.
Well, what's your favorite retro game, Stav? Let's hear yours.
I said Zelda.
Did you say that now, or did you say that before?
Ocarina of Time. Zelda Ocarina of Time is just the goat of goats. It slaps, and it still slaps to this day.
So aggressive.
There's nothing wrong with it. It still holds up pretty well when I watch people play it. Yeah, and that's just goat. It's way better than Jim Worm, whatever you have over there. Matt, we're gonna go into the general discussion. First topic, and that is retro games. So, Mendy gave us his crazy game. What would you say are a couple of your favorite retro games to play?
So I would
It's gonna be
say
a tough one for you because I feel like you love every single one.
The answer is all.
well, I'm gonna name the most memorable games that I played growing up for retro stuff, and number 1 is gonna be Metal Gear Solid, the original, because I played and beat that game in one sitting without a memory card. It was not easy. It was very hard.
Remember memory cards?
I still got some. I'm actually looking at them right now. Resident Evil 2, because I was trying to unlock one of the bonus characters, and you had to beat the game in under 2 hours. And anytime I would die or screw up, stop, quit, start over, load up the game. I was essentially speed running before it was cool. Oh man, Castlevania Symphony of the Night is another one. Another game I got from Blockbuster, and the audio cuts out. Thankfully, I've gotten better copies of it, but my original I still have, and the audio cuts out when I play it because the disc is so badly scratched. And then Zombies Ate My Neighbor is another. That is one that I played throughout my entire childhood. I got it for my birthday one year. Didn't know what it was about. It's actually a LucasArts game, so the Star Wars guys made this, and basically that game is not as weird as Earthworm Jim.
It sounds pretty weird, like Earthworm Jim.
It's essentially zombies, werewolves, vampires, aliens, uh, giant tentacle monsters. Actually, that is a reference to another LucasArts game, but it's like I said, it's not as weird. You don't have booger monsters or anything like that. It's a over the top game made by Konami, and you're just going level to level in neighborhoods, castles, um, pretty much anything horror related is in it, and you're just killing a variety of monsters. But the point of each level is to save the humans throughout the level, and they can range from 5 to 10. And if any of them die, your score goes down at the end of the level. But if you manage to get all of them, you get a high score, and I think a 1-up every time. That's pretty much the meat of the Medieval's another one, and that's one I could talk about in the further
Later,
part of the
later,
discussion.
later,
Later,
later on
later.
in the no
Yeah.
spoilers, no spoilers. When did you kind of come set on saying that I'm going to stream and I'm going to do this genre? And how did that kind of all come apart? Because I'm guessing you need, to get like a bunch of different setups in order to stream it with, technology today. So,
Mhm.
when did it kind of hit you? Just like, this is what I want to do. I want to stream this. And how'd you go about getting everything that connects to Twitch?
So, originally, when I started streaming, I wasn't doing retro, I was doing more modern games. I was playing the SpiderMan game. And I did do a few, like, streams of, Castlevania, and I did maybe, like, 4 episodes, and I was throwing those on YouTube because my original plan was to stream the old I mean, sorry, not stream, but record the old stuff for YouTube, and I realized it's harder to record and talk when nobody's watching you than it is when people are watching you live. It's easier for me to record and talk when people are watching me live. But what made me really go into retro was when I realized I had this little adapter that I needed to hook up my old consoles to my HDTV, and I got an Elgato. So I'm like, let me try something. So I took the HDMI from that, plugged it in the Elgato. Sure enough, it worked, and I said, "Oh my god, I can
Mm.
stream so many games with this one little device." Because before I was just streaming whatever was in the Sega collections or what was re-released on the PS4, like the Castlevania collection and stuff like that. Um, and then I realized, I can stream stuff that I have on cartridges, and all I had to do was get this little adapter for my TV. It turns out it ended up working better than I thought it would. I mean, it does make the picture a little dark, and I got to brighten it up a little bit, but it's not that bad. I'm able to stream my N64 stuff with no problems.
I remember my roommate a couple years ago went out and bought just one day we were sitting in the living room. He's just like, I want to go buy an N64. So he looked up online and he was like, it was like 40 minutes away. And we're just like, boom, out, go buy it. Came back and we didn't have the adapter thingy for it.
Oof.
So it was big rip. We couldn't play that. We ended up like ordering it. It came in. We were able to play the next weekend, but uh, it was a huge problem connecting it to like a 75-inch HDMI, HD TV, and the graphics were terrible. It was laggy because it was a huge monitor that's not supposed to be played on. It was just a big mistake all around.
That's why I'm
But
hoping the PS5 and stuff is backwards compatible, so I can unhook some of these 75 consoles I have hooked up right now and get rid of these 100 wires I have going into my TV.
uh, I mean, I would love to do some retro stuff. I
Mhm.
don't know many. I don't know if you've ever thought about going down the path. I mean, obviously, we'd have to get some gears to do it, but
Yeah.
um, I think everybody would like to see me die as Link and Zelda over and over again and just be really bad. Or we can play James Bond because I know that's one thing Maddie has been doing recently. Talk to us a little bit about what you're doing. This A to Z
So
retro stream or zero to Z alphabetical.
so it's an alphabetical. Originally, it was just going to be PlayStation games, right? And I realized as I'm playing through Tomorrow Never Dies a couple weeks ago, I said, there's a lot of James Bond games that are on other consoles that aren't PS1, like GoldenEye and even
Mhm.
The World Is Not Enough had 2 versions. Um, so then I just thought, you know what? I'll just do it, not just PlayStation. I'll do whatever game series on whatever system it is. So if it spans from N64 to PS4, that's what I'm gonna do. But the A to Z thing was, I was just looking at my games one time and I said, I have a lot that I can play, and I wanted to play through all of them, but I didn't want to like jump around and be like, okay, let me start with playing Alien Collection or Alien games from the Aliens movies, and then I jump into say Darksiders or something. I was like, let me just do this in order. That way, I'm not thinking about what I want to stream, what I want to play. I just go in order of what I want to play, and then some games I am gonna skip just because I don't like them. Like Alone in the Dark 2 is one of them. The game is just so ugly that I just don't want to. I don't want to look at it.
The do you have all your games in alphabetical order in cases?
No, no, they're not in
Oh, I
alphabetical order.
thought
They're
you
just
had like
kind
a
of
whole collection, like you open up like a closet door
A
and it's
big
just
old
like
library.
perfectly just like displayed out.
well. The only ones that are in order are like I have all my Sony games in one little uh, setup, but they're not in alphabetical order. And then I have all my Ubisoft games, all my Resident Evils in order. So that way, if I ever want to play them, I could just pull it out and I don't have to go digging for them or anything like that.
I always never put the games back in the right boxes.
You mean like
I
the
just had
CDs
them.
back in
I
the
had
right
them
spot?
sprayed out
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
I was really bad at that. Maddie, I can see you being really good at that. Like it goes exactly back in the thing, in the same spot. I just said that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I bet Mendy did that too with Earth, Fire, Worm.
Now
I
we.
still can't believe that.
I don't know where we got that game. I just always had it when I was a kid. It was just there.
I like the PC stuff now because now it's just all on my computer and I don't have to buy anything and collect any dust with all my old games. Actually, Maddie, I should send you something. When I moved into my new apartment, the guy before me had a huge box of just DVDs and games. And he's like, "Would you want this by any chance?" And for some reason I said yes. I don't know why. And it's literally hasn't moved for like 2 years. And there's just a bunch of games in there and I don't know. Maybe I can give them over to you somehow. I don't even know what games are in there.
Wow.
I think Ratchet and Clank is the first one. Don't know. I don't know. We'll see if we can get it too. You mentioned a couple remakes to games. So Resident Evil does a remake. Um, do you think remakes of old games is good for the game, or do you prefer the original? So like Resident Evil 2 versus the remake of the Resident Evil 2.
So I still have a deep love for Resident Evil 2, the original. I still play it all the time. Um, it doesn't take away from the original when a game is remade to me. Just like when they remake a movie, the original's still gonna be there. It doesn't take away from that. And I feel like the Resident Evil 2 remake did help because people have been wanting that since the original got remade back in 2002. They kept saying, "We want Resident Evil 2, we want Resident Evil 3," but more Resident Evil 2 than 3. And for so many years, Capcom's like, "No, that game was already perfect. We don't need to remake it. So just, stop asking." Till one day they're like, "Oh, hey, we're remaking it." Um, but like I said, it doesn't some games do need a remake. Like the original Resident Evil did need a remake because the original was just the dialogue was so bad. The voice acting wasn't the best, and, I think Metal Gear Solid was another one where it wasn't a bad game, but it coulda used a remake just to look a little slightly prettier than the original one, which was, like, you can't even see their faces, their eyes. It's just a garbled mess of polygons.
I loved Snake in those original ones. He was so tough. Like I remember just be like, I want to be Snake when I grow up. Just like this badass dude who just walks around with like a bandana on. Snake killed it. Uh Mendy, do you have any thoughts if you had to pick a game to be remade? What would you choose for a game to be remade?
You put me on the spot here.
I love putting you on the spot because you're just over there, just thinking it's not going to come over to you, and then
Yeah.
boom.
Oh man, I'm trying to think. You want to know what I used to love when I was a kid? I used to love the Jak and Daxter games. I would love to see. I know they made what was it, like 3 or 4, and then they made like a racing car game. I would love to see another Jak and Daxter game come out. I think that would be really cool.
How come I never know what you're talking about?
Yo, Matt, help me out here.
So Jak and Daxter is made by the same guy. It's a
Naughty
cartoony
Dog, right?
game. Yeah, Naughty Dog, and they started with Crash Bandicoot. Some of their earlier stuff wasn't that good on the Sega Genesis, but and there's a pattern. Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, 3, Kart Racer,
Yeah.
and that was because Universal kind of pissed them off, and they were like, you know what, we're
Oh.
just gonna make this. I think they wanted to make another game, and Universal's like, no, we want you to do this instead. So, story about that is they were basically creating the game inside a hallway with no AC, and that's how we got Crash Team Racing. So they moved on to Jak and Daxter, which started off kid friendly, and then it got a little dark
Yeah.
in the second and third game,
I love the third
and they
one.
made a kart racer. So the joke about that was we got 3 Uncharted games, and then we were going to get a kart racer for Uncharted, called Uncarted. We didn't end up getting that. We got Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us. So they kind of ditched the whole kid-friendly stuff, and then they went more serious with their games. And I think they even sold uh, the license. Yeah, they sold the license, or somehow it got acquired by Activision. And Activision, they didn't make the best Crash Bandicoot games until they were like, "Hey, guess what? We're gonna remaster them, all 3 of them, the first 3." And um, I, I might be jumping ahead in the thing here, but it worked, and it wasn't exactly a remake; it was a remaster. So same game, just prettier graphics. They called it, instead of 4K, Fur K, because of the Bandicoot. And Spyro did the same thing. Spyro the
Yeah.
Dragon, they remade all 3 of those, and that was a game I never played. My sister played it when we were kids, but I never could get behind the controls. I was just like, These controls are horrible." Um, but the remaster is a lot better to play now. It's prettier, it controls better, and that's even the same thing with Crash Bandicoot. It controls better, so there's some levels where you would just die in a matter of seconds trying to jump over a gap, and the new one made it easier to jump over that gap without falling to your death.
Matt, if you had to remake one game, what would it be?
Shoot.
Now, I just said it to Mendy, and now you're surprised that it's coming over to you?
I hope you're ready, Stuff.
Oh, I'm ready. Wait, you gonna ask?
No, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Are we talking like remasters or remake?
Yeah,
Or both?
Stuff. Come on, Stuff.
A remake. So you can take an old game, it can be switched up, but it has to be that game, but it can be redone, could be a new game.
So I would say the Onimusha series on PS2, because they could make that like Neo and Dark Souls and shoot, what's the name of that last one they made? Sekiro and Bloodborne. They can make it like that, which shoot. The game is already tough, so they can make it similar to that style, and I'd be fine with that. Because making a game like that where you're just samurais killing demons and stuff, uh, you that one was in a fixed camera angle similar to Resident Evil. So doing that in today's gaming, where it's over the shoulder most of the time, it wouldn't work unless they made it like Ninja Gaiden or something. But I think making it like Dark Souls and Bloodborne would be perfect, because I've been playing Neo, and that pretty much feels like Onimusha to me. So same gameplay, like you said, just make the enemies a little difficult, or and make the gameplay, slightly different in that aspect, where when you die, you don't actually die. You get to come back and go find your, equipment that you lost.
All right, man, you ready to ask me? Go.
All right, so moving on to the next discussion we have here today.
No, we're still here. We're still same thing.
Okay, so what would you do?
Oh, I was not ready for that question. Star Fox.
Okay, sounds good.
Give me a
Wait,
Star Fox
which
shooter.
Star Fox?
That 64 one. And
Okay.
64 one.
Wait.
Didn't they?
They kind of remade that. They
I need
remastered
one
it for
now,
DS.
2020 PC
It
version.
sounds like you're
that you can
bending your own question right now, stuff.
I invent the questions. I can mold, transform any of the questions to make my answers right all the time. Matt, do you get asked that a lot, like in your streams? Is that one of your like the most common things? It's just like, oh, what about this game? Imagine, I want to play this game or something like that. Because I think
Actually,
Star Fox came up last time I was in your thing. I was just like, give me Star Fox.
I was playing. I think it was when I was playing one of the Bond games, and somebody was in the stream, and they kept asking me, um, "Oh, have you played Perfect Dark? Have you played this? Have you played that?" And they're just naming off all these games. I'm like, "Yes, yes, 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 yes." When I was streaming Resident Evil, I had somebody come in. Unfortunately, we had to block him because he was telling some pretty inappropriate jokes. We gave him the warning. He didn't listen, so I was like, "Bye." But before he became insane, um, he'd ask me all these questions about Resident Evil, like how many have I played, this and that, and I was like, "Yo, man, I've played literally every game in this series." Uh, and he just kept naming off other games. What about Silent Hill? Yes. What about Metal Gear? Yes. What about some obscure game? I can't remember which one it was. And I'm like, "Yeah, I've played that one too." It was, I think it was Earthworm Jim.
It definitely was.
I just feel like that's like it's just a really good talking point that you
Yeah.
have going into your stream, like
Yeah.
say it's a random person goes into your stream, Scoot Magoo rolls in and you're playing a game that Scoot loved growing up, and it's just an instant connection with that person that's streaming and the person that's in the chat before they go insane or say bad stuff in your chat.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's a mutual connection that you have, and then you just want to kind of talk to that person about the
Right.
game. Be like, I played this when I was growing up. It was really cool. I remember this. So I think that's something cool that your stream in your area has to the community, is that the people are coming in, they're going to see that you're playing, Resident Evil, the old one, and be like, oh, I spent so many times as a kid playing this game, and that's where you guys can kind of bond right off the bat. And I think that's really, really
Yeah.
cool.
And that game actually did get me a lot of follows just from playing that. And I was in the Discords and everything, and I was telling people, "Hey, I'm playing." I actually got the idea from a friend who was streaming all the Mega Man games. I said, "Well, I can't do that because that's kind of copying him." So I said, "Well, let me stream a different Capcom game." And I thought Mega Man X. I'm like, it's still kind of copying his, which I
Hmm.
do want to stream those eventually. But then I said, you know what? I haven't played the Resident Evil series from beginning to end in a very long time. So I did that, and it's still going. I'm still not done with it because those games are super long. But I would just mention it on Instagram, Twitter, and people were like, "Oh man, that's awesome! I'm gonna check it out," because I remember playing those games. I haven't played them in so long. And one person was in the chat, and he's just like, "This is bringing back so many memories." They're talking about, "Oh, I remember this big monster character that used to kill me all the time. I think it was Nemesis." And it's just cool to have people come in and talk about that stuff with me because I'm so knowledgeable about it that I could just talk for days about this stuff.
So I came in when you were doing the Bond games,
Mhm.
and I loved all the Bond games.
Yeah.
Every single one I thought was great, and I just kind of forgot about them, and then you're just like, boom, Bond, and I was just like, boom, I'm there, and then I was like, boom, what's up, and then everybody was just booming the entire time. Why are you shaking
Yeah,
your head over there, Mendy?
You're a big boom guy now. I
I
wonder if
am.
you're a
I can't.
boomer.
Big time boomer over here.
I had a lot of people uh, getting excited over that too. They were like, "Oh, I remember this game from when I was a kid." Somebody asked if I was on my GoldenEye, and the answer is yes, but I'm saving that one for last because it's GoldenEye. It's the one that started all of it. And I
Mm.
think Stav, you even mentioned that it kind of, what was it you said? Something about how it didn't, the rest of the Bond games weren't they didn't live up to that level that GoldenEye was at after it came out.
It
And
was
it's kind of
tough.
true, but they were still fun.
They were fun, but like you knock it out of the park on the first one, like an
Mm.
absolute grand slam. And then it was just going to be, it was impossible to think that they would be able to do that for every other game going forward. But
No, you know,
but
sorry.
they got a lot of like slack and be like, oh, this Bond game wasn't good because it wasn't as good as GoldenEye. But it was still a very good game, and they were all good games.
Now, what's interesting about Rare, who made the GoldenEye, the original GoldenEye, was Nintendo came to them and said, "Hey, would you like to make a Tomorrow Never Dies game?" They said, "We're gonna have to decline because we're working on something else," which ended up being Perfect Dark. And I just think, and I
Mm.
was thinking about it while I was playing Tomorrow Never Dies. I said, "Man, what would it have been like if Rare got to make this game instead of EA?" I mean, I love the EA James Bond games, but I just think, what if? What could have been?
Yeah, but also we got Perfect Dark, so that's kind of a win too.
And then we got Perfect Dark Zero. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Ooh, Mendy, you just upset him.
I'm sorry. I was just
No,
Perfect
it's
Dark.
not
No, you just
not a-
upset him. How dare you?
it's not a bad game. It's just it could have been better.
Yeah, what if Mendy get on the
Get on the
same stage
Earthworm
as
Jim
us.
level, stop. Don't at me
You
right
stay
now.
over there. You stay over there doing whatever you're doing, and Matt and I will continue crushing this podcast.
There is a new Earthworm Jim game coming out, but it's exclusive
no.
to some random.
No. Is this going to be the new
Exclus-
Super Monkey Ball?
I
Maybe.
won't do that to you. I won't do that to you.
Thank you. Matt, is that a real game, Super Monkey Ball?
It is a real game. It started on the GameCube,
Oh.
and it's been mostly Nintendo. But yeah, it's a real game. There's even one at Dave and Buster's. There's even a slot machine.
Nelly, if you're out there in the world and you're hearing this, another person that you tricked into saying that this game's real, I don't know how you guys do it.
And my wife loves that game.
It's not real. It's not real. Chat, it's not real. It doesn't exist.
For anyone that's confused, Stav hates that game. I don't even think he's played it
I just don't
before.
believe it's real.
Is
It
it
just
That's like saying the world is flat or something like that. Like
no,
it's there.
Not in that game. It's not.
Do you like that game?
It's fun. It's not bad.
Stav
I'm not the one
hates
who
it.
plays it the most. My wife is the one who plays Super Monkey Ball. Like
Mm.
when they remastered, I think it was Banana Blitz, the one that came out on the
Banana.
DS and Vita. She goes, "Did you know about this?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Can we go get it?" I'm like, "Sure." And I don't think she's played it since then.
Well, because it's not a game. So you can't play a game that isn't a game because it's not a game. Is water wet? I don't know, bro. So that was retro, man. I feel like you can go on and on about retro game and just each game that just kind of comes to mind. But we'll save that for your streams. So
Yeah.
if you're out there, we'll send the links. Matt's Geek Corner, follow him for all retro games. He does a really good job on social media promoting his streams and what he's going to be playing, what's he going to be playing in the future. So go in, connect back to your childhood growing up.
Yes.
And just chat it up because I think that's one of my favorite things about going to your streams is just chatting with you and, kind of reliving the old days of just playing when I was a kid. So,
Yeah.
So check all that stuff out for the retro. We're going to keep cruising through here. We're going to get into the gaming news from the past week. And this is gonna be mainstream. So Matt, you're gonna know. I need you to know every single thing about everything we're gonna talk about. And no, you're still up to date with all of the mainstream stuff and what goes on that comes out during the week. So
I mean, the only stuff I don't know about is Fortnite. I don't pay attention to that.
who
Probably
pays
a good
attention
thing.
to that game? I miss.
I mean, my
Fortnite.
coworker's always talking about it. I said, "Dude, nobody cares."
Speaking of
Thank you.
remake games, Fortnite, can you just remake when the game was good, please? Let us
Remake.
know.
That's season 1, right?
Yeah, just everything leading up to the black hole and then after. Just remake it. Redo it for us. One of Fortnite's competitors, though, Call of Duty, had a big sick transition stuff. Boom. Call of Duty had a big update this week. And I'm not just saying big as in it added the cool new features. It was actually a big update. What was it was like 6 hours of an update. I think one of our guys said.
Yeah, like 60 gigabytes or something crazy like that.
Like what? 6 hours of an update? Are you kidding? Why?
I have no
Why?
idea.
Why? Was it really that big of a of an update to bring back Rust? Like, was Rust worth it for that monster of an update?
Who knows?
No, Rust was all over. People were very excited to go back and play Rust. I feel like you're gonna be like, "Oh, I love Rust," and then it's just gonna be like another any other map in the game. So, um, it's cool that it's back. It's very retro to bring it back. It's very nostalgic to bring it back.
Mm.
People are excited to play it. The one big thing though that has got people talking, it's got the people jiving. They're hinting at in the promo. There's like a circle pushing in on you. Okay, and we've been down the Call of Duty Battle Royale before, which flopped big time. I think everybody can say that the Call of Duty last year that came out with the Battle Royale, only the Battle Royale, huge mistake by Call of Duty, was a big flop. I don't think they can go down the Battle Royale thing again because of how bad it was. But someone in the GGR Discord was saying maybe it's a Tarkov style extraction type survival game.
Oh,
Now, I love Tarkov. I am terrible at Tarkov. I love the idea of Tarkov. I love the idea of battle royales. Is this something that we might see going forward? People doing these extraction type games as opposed to just being, the last one to survive wins. Mendy, do you think that this could take over as the new style of game? Is this the new battle royale?
um, who knows? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna
I
say
was
no.
hoping you would know.
I don't know.
You got all the answers.
Tarkov really blew up, and it's not a battle royale. It's like an extraction kind of gameplay. I'm curious to see if more games are going to try to do that. I don't know. I think it's way too early to decide that.
We always kind of asked. We remember asking like towards the end of last year, be like, what can gaming evolve to? What's the next thing?
Yeah, yeah. What's like the next battle royale game or a different type of game mode that will take over?
Tarkov's the only different style that I've seen recently where it's similar to a battle royale. People ask me, "Is this a battle royale?" I say yes. I don't even think I mean to say yes. I just can't compare it to anything else because it's it's player versus player.
Yeah.
You're dropping into a map. I don't know, Maddie. Do you like the Tarkov style, or do you like battle royales, or do you just love PlayStation 1 games?
I love Earthworm Jim. No, I'm kidding.
Super Monkey Ball.
I don't really follow the multiplayer stuff for Call of Duty all that much. I mainly play the single player, and like you said, what was it, Black Ops 4 when they scrapped the story mode was a stupid idea.
It was so bad.
Hmm.
And I tried playing Battle Royal or was it Blackout in that, and I just didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, this is not for me. So I went back to zombies. Tarkov, I have no idea what that's about. So
Oh, it's very easy to describe. Wait, do you have 10 hours so I can break down what it is? Oh, it's like a survival thing. And when you die, you lose all the stuff you go in with.
oh, okay. So like a roguelike, uh what is it? There's a game on a PS4 called Dead Cells, and when you die, you lose everything. You have to go back and get it again.
So you can't go back and get it. You have to kill people and steal their stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have extraction points throughout the map that you have to find, and then you have to extract out without dying or you lose everything. It's crazy. I have no weapons in my backpack anymore because I just die every single time. I am so bad at the game, and it's. I don't want to go too deep into it. It's tough. It's a very cool idea though, and I love watching good people play it. And if Call of Duty were to do this and do a successful model of this type of game, that would be banging. That would be absolutely slapping if they could do that because that might be the next thing. And
I'd
if
play
they
it.
can do it before anybody else or after Tarkov, but before anybody else really goes into it, I think that would be a huge way for Call of Duty to get back on the map. That's just my thought, my theory on it. I would love to see
Yeah.
a survival extraction type battle royale combo of something,
Hmm.
because that would be fire. I would love that. So Epic Games, a big name out there in the battle royale field, had a big switch up and has a new president working for them. His name is Adam Sussman, and you're probably thinking, oh, he's probably really good and connected to the video game world. You're wrong. He came from Nike. Um, when I first read it and that said he came over from Nike, I was just, what is going on here? How does this connect over? So he's Nike. He's obviously woke, and I don't know what he can do at Epic, but is he gonna try to make it like cool or something like that, or is he gonna? I really don't know what his approach could be here. Is it, Mendy? Do you think this is good or bad for Epic Games, or do you think it's not going to matter? Everybody's still going to hate Fortnite, and they're still going to tweet bad things about Epic Games.
I can see it now. Fortnite, Nike. You're wearing the shoes, Stav. I can already see it. They're gonna have the freshest Nike
no.
Fortnite gears. I'm wearing Nike
No.
right now. Imagine this, just like a nice little Fortnite logo right under the Nike check. All the basketball games, you're gonna see guys wearing Fortnite gear.
There's going to be so many Nike skins in that game now.
Yeah.
They're going to have shoes. You're going to be able to buy shoes, Nike shoes with them.
The Marty McFly ones.
They could probably make a killing off selling separate shoes in that game.
Yeah.
Adam Sussman, if you're listening, I just want 5%.
I'll take 2.
No, you get nothing. I'll split it with you, Maddie. We'll each go 2.5 out of all shoe sales in Fortnite.
Sounds good to me.
I don't know what Epic could do with the new president. I don't know if it's good or bad for Epic. I think Epic's just kind of on that path. It's just gonna, as long as Fortnite dominates, Epic's gonna be relevant, and people are gonna be upset with them. They're gonna love them. They're gonna tweet out they hate them. They're gonna tweet out they love them. I don't really think I could be the president of Epic, and it would still be, and it would still smash. So Adam Sussman, go back to the old Fortnite, and then I'll come back. Other than that, I'm going to stay pro at Apex.
Goated
on the routes for shouts. Guys, we've been seeing this recently a lot. I feel like every week we've been talking about PlayStation and PlayStation 4 having really good deals. All right, we were talking pre-podcast about this kind of scenario, and the PS4 Pro is selling for $300 right now. PS4 Slim is selling for $235 right now. Now you're getting some pretty good games with these packages. God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Last of Us. I mean, these are pretty big giveaways. Mendy, are they just trying to sell all their old stuff and just like give it away? Just like take our inventory?
Seems like it. Kind of seems like they're gearing up for a new console coming out. I was told not to get the PS4 Slim though. I heard the Slim wasn't too great, so maybe that's why they dropped the price on it. But it's cool that they also added those games on as well.
Like God of War is an unbelievable game.
Yeah.
Unbelievable game. And if you can get that, I guess Maddie, we were talking about it. We have 8 months until the PS5 comes, right?
Yeah.
It's coming out around the holidays. Sure, it's going to come out like a month or two before. Is it worth just scrapping the 300 or the 235 and just say, I'm going to put that towards whatever it's going to be, $600, $700? Or is it like, if you want to get a PlayStation, is it kind of worth buying the $300 PS Pro?
Well, see, for me, I've had the PS4 since launch, so I'm ready for the new system. But say somebody goes and buys the Slim or the Pro, and then Sony comes out and says, "Hey, PS5 is backwards compatible with PS4." They're going to be a little ticked about that. So that's why I say it's better just to wait, because you never know if it's actually going to. I mean, they've been saying it for months, for at least a year. Hey, this is going to be backwards compatible with everything. We won't know that until they actually legit announce it, because rumors are not truth. I need Sony to tell me this is going to be backwards compatible. And I mean, if you just don't care about the newer consoles, because I know some people who they're like, I don't care about the new stuff. Go ahead and get the Slim or the Pro. Definitely get God of War, Horizon, Last of
Mm.
Us, even Days Gone, and those other 2 games, Until Dawn and Detroit Become Human. Those were all great exclusives for PlayStation. So it's definitely worth getting one just for those games alone.
Why aren't we seeing Xbox taking the similar approach? Mendy, you're a big Xbox guy.
Big
Big
Xbox guy.
Xbox guy. Why isn't Xbox just dropping crazy deals like this?
I have no idea. It kind of seems like, if anything, they always want to upgrade stuff more. Like
Mhm.
they had like I forget all the names that they came out with, but they were like launching new Xbox consoles after the last stuff that came out. So I don't know. I think the reason why the prices are low on these because they don't have a lot of memory in them. But there's something weird about the PS4 dropping all these prices for it. It kind of makes it seem like their stuff isn't that worth it.
To me, it kind of looks like a money grab to me by
Mhm.
PlayStation, and
Hmm.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's just like we need to get as much money as possible before we drop this crazy expensive new
Hmm.
ultimate gaming system
Yeah.
because we're scared people might not buy it.
Well, what I was saying in the off the podcast was I read something today that said they want to try and get rid of the PS4 when the 5 comes out and then basically force people to get the 5, similar to how Microsoft, when the 360 came out, the original Xbox was pretty much non-existent after that. I remember they didn't release any new games unless it was Madden or NBA. They didn't release any new games for the original Xbox. It was all strictly 360.
Hmm.
Now, are they going to stop eventually making games like for the next 5 months, or are we still going to be seeing games coming out? Or we want to talk about Daymare 1998 coming out, and you said that's a new game. I think you said it's going out in April or May.
Yeah, so it's getting a console release in April. It So to back it up a little bit, the game started off as a Resident Evil 2 remake, and they were pretty far into development. And then Capcom came along and says, "Hey, stop what you're doing. You can't do that." And I think a lot of remakes for Resident Evil 2, the fan made remakes, got shut down. So they invited the crew to come to their studio and just check out what they were working on, which ended up being Resident Evil 2. So they kind of got some ideas from that, came back, uh, started working on Daymare as a spiritual successor to Resident Evil. Um, and it released on PC last year. And when you look at it, the game looks like a Resident Evil 2 remake, but with different characters, different monsters. I think there's still a virus that turns people into zombies. But it's getting a console release in April. Um, for the US, the Japanese version comes out, I want to say tomorrow. Uh, and it's only physical for PS4 and I think I want to say PC maybe, or it might just be PS4, but the Xbox version is not getting a physical release. It's just getting digital. And the physical, from what I can see, is only available at GameStop. I have not seen it on Amazon or anything else like that. But they said that the console versions are getting a fixed camera angle. And so what I was explaining to Stav while you were away, Mindy, was that fixed cameras are like the old Resident Evils tank controls where you're going around a corner and the camera switches to that side. The camera doesn't follow the character.
Hmm.
So that's just an option. The game will be over the shoulder, will be similar to all the recent Resident Evil games, but they have that option to play in a fixed camera, which a lot of indie games recently have been doing that too. They've been going in that old format to get people to, have that nostalgia trip. There's a lot of Nintendo Switch games that are like that. They have the fixed camera, and then there was a uh, demo disc that released for PC that had a lot of old inspired games from Resident Evil, like inspired by Resident Evil that had that same control style. So that's pretty much the the breakdown for Daymare, and it releases, I want to say, 20 days after Resident Evil 3.
I'm just
So
curious though why they're still making games, or if you're not going to be able to play these games on the 5, if they're like they're going to stop making new games, right? And just wait until the all the new stuff comes out.
yeah, I'm hoping that the cycle between the 4 and 5 is a lot less than it was for 3 and 4, because when the 4 came out, they were still making PS3 games about a year, 2 years after um the 4 came out, and it was holding a lot of companies back because they had to work on not only the PS4, the what at the time was the next gen version, they had to work on the current gen version for PS3. So it was holding a lot of people back from doing what could have been like an amazing looking game to some of them looking like they were still on PS3. Like Amazing Spider-Man 2 was one of them where I played it and somebody's like, "Oh, it looks amazing." And I'm like, "Looks like a PS3 game." So I think this was just like, I don't know if they intended to do a physical release for this because it was a indie game. So they probably just intended for it to be digital, but I want to say I think GameStop was backing them or something. That's why they have a physical copy for them and nobody else has it. They've been doing that recently a lot. There's been a lot of games that like had remasters that were digital only, but they had a physical copy at GameStop. So Ghostbusters and Borderlands were two that I can think of that got physical copies only at that store. Um, but if it's backwards compatible, the 5, then cool. They can. My one thing about that is, can I re-download all my downloads? Because I have a lot of games from the PlayStation Plus, the free games that they add every month. I have a lot of stuff that I want to be able to play on that system that's not on disc. If that makes sense.
I'm kind of curious to see if you just see kind of a downplay of new games being
Mhm.
announced and everybody's just focused on doing everything for the new consoles that are coming out, because I can't wait to see what those systems look like. I honestly think they're going to be computers. I think you're going to be getting decently high FPS from consoles, which is going to be really cool. Um, hey, um, I'm hoping it's a great success. I hope it's not $800+. I hope it's affordable. I'm hoping it's like $599, and I think that would be a great price for it. But
Yeah, that's what worries me is the whole backwards compatible. Because when they did that with the 3, there was $600 and $800 versions, and I think the $800 one had trouble playing the games because it was essentially 2 systems in one case. Um, but as far as, like, new games getting announced for the PS4, they only really have 2 that I can think of that are coming out this year that are big games, and that's Last of Us 2 in May, and then Ghost of Tsushima is supposed to be coming out later this year. They said it's a PS4 game still, so we'll see about that, and not Days Gone, Dying Light 2 has been delayed. I say that with quotes. I think they're just pushing that back to the next gen consoles.
I would just wait. If
Yeah.
I think this is is this what Cyberpunk is doing as well, or no?
No, Cyberpunk is still coming out for current consoles, but they said they may release even Death Stranding. They said they may release a version on the next gen consoles. Actually, I just read today that Rainbow Six Siege is going to be coming out for the PS5 and Xbox Series X, whatever that's called, because that game is stupid popular.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So why not release it on the next gen system?
Yeah, do it. I mean, if you can if you can get anything onto that next one, I would wait. I would,
Hold
take the
off
extra
for it.
time. Don't waste any money on the older consoles. Focus on the new one. Bring up all the graphics that you can,
Yeah.
and just max out a game and just hit the ground running, as you would say, uh, when those new ones come out. Because
Yeah.
I just think that's a better idea. Um, and I want to throw this out there real quick. Shout out to all my cyclers. I've been playing a new game. It was free on the Epic Store, and I just downloaded it last night. Hit on it real quick. We got some games in last night with a couple people, and it was somewhat fun. It's called The Cycle. It's free on Epic Stores for a free game. Hey, Did I waste any money on it? No. Am I gonna play it all the time? No. Am I gonna have fun playing it for a little bit? Sure, why not? You basically like land in on these space pods and you go around. You have to like collect contracts by like digging up mines, and you're shooting monsters, and there's also other people in there that are trying to, kill you and your team as well.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. I had fun playing it last night. It's only keyboard and mouse though, so rips to anybody on controller. Um, it was cool. Well, like I said, am I gonna play it? Is it gonna take over for Apex for me? No. Will I probably not play it after next weekend? Most likely. But for a free game, it. Matt, you said you get the free games all the time on PlayStation. Like,
Yeah, I download a lot of them, but I just don't. Some of them I don't play. I just have them there in case I
In
ever
the
do want to
library.
play them.
yeah,
Like Neo was one of them. It was free on PS Plus about a month or two ago, and even though I already own the game, I said, well, let me just download it so I don't have to put the disc in there, get up off my butt, and put the just be
Who
lazy.
uses those? No, I think I'm gonna start doing a little bit more of the free stuff and just give it a try. You can always just delete them off of your console or your
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's free though, right? And it's worth a shot to test some of these out. You can watch a little trailer and say, "Oh, this kind of looks interesting." But like PlayStation, they drop like one monster title like a month.
Yeah.
It was recently that they had Titanfall 2 out there for free, which
Uncharted
is
Collection was one too.
just like PlayStation drops these monster games that you might not even know that you have the capability of getting games for free, and just check them out. Epic Store does them. I don't know if Steam does free games or not. I don't think so. Maybe Xbox does it. PlayStation does it. So if you're gaming out there, check your systems and see if you can get the free games. Mendy and I went pro in the cycle last night. We're pretty good. I can actually say for once, it's only happened once in my life. Other than last night, I was the best player on Twitch in the cycle last night. Fact, not opinion. Mendy, do you remember the other time where I was the best player in that game?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was Uno. I was the best Uno player on Twitch that first night we all played Uno, and
You rigged it.
it's just I don't want to toot my own horn, but when you're just the best person in that channel,
When you stream snipe, you can win any game.
okay, didn't happen. That didn't happen. You guys stream snipe only. Okay. Moving on, Mendy. Stream sniper over there. Maddie, this is Mendy's time to shine. So we're gonna transition to the game reviews that you do right now. But this is Mendy's time to shine right here. It's his drum solo. We do some Good Game Report plugs right here. So this is where we just step back and let Mendy do his thing.
Yes, thank you, Stav. That was a beautiful transitioning over. Yeah. Get comfortable. So everyone that's here now joining us, this is currently a live broadcast that we do on the Good Game Report Twitch channel. We take this video, we upload it onto our YouTube channel, which you can also find it on Good Game Report. And then we also take the audio and we upload it to all podcast platforms you can possibly imagine. All you have to do is type in Good Game Report. We're there. Another thing we do on this channel is that we do like a Twitch raid night every Wednesday around 8 p.m. Eastern. And pretty much what we do, we go into like small streamer, we try to help them hit affiliate, and it's a lot of fun. So definitely come join us, join our Discord, all of our social medias at Good Game Report, and shout out to all my yurts.
Shout out to all my yurts. That was beautiful, Mendy. What'd you think, Mendy? Maddie, how do you do?
Pretty good. I would have stumbled and stuttered and.
But you said pretty good. It wasn't like excellent. Like
no, it was great. Reminded me of my own plugs when I end a stream. But I recently stopped doing that because I'm like, it takes up too much time to do all that if I'm ending the stream.
I thought you were gonna do a seamless transition and say that this is what you do in your game reviews and topics, because that would have been phenomenal.
Yes. I actually do. I do those on my YouTube videos.
YouTube videos, you say? Oh, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe you. It's just like we're connected. It's like we finish each other's
sentences.
Word. Oh, I missed it.
We're just on right now. Uh, so for the second general discussion, and this is kind of Maddie's field as well with the retro gaming. He does YouTube video reviews, and I've seen just the game reviews. But this is kind of your bag. Like, is this what you first started doing? You said, right?
Yeah, so I got the idea for starting a YouTube channel. I wanted to do it a long time ago, do something like a TV show type thing with episodes, and we're kind of like what we're doing right now. We'd have general discussions and everything. It's just some of the people I wanted, they didn't live near me. They lived in other cities and other states, and I was like, this just isn't gonna work. And somebody actually told me, why do you want to do a YouTube channel? Everybody has one. It's not gonna do anything. And that was back in like 2012, 2013. And so that kind of turned me off of that. And then I started watching more YouTubers who were doing gaming reviews. And I said, you know what? I could probably do something like this. So I got the recent idea to make a YouTube channel for my wife, who started her channel reviewing toys, unboxing toys. Like I think it's like LOL surprise and just these was it not exploding kittens? Like something some kind of cat that comes in a milk jug and you got to dig it out of clay and it's a whole thing. So I said, okay, I can do that too. And one of my first videos was unboxing a mystery mini Crash Bandicoot series, and it was from Kid Robot. And I was like, well, I could do some of this. I did maybe 4 of them, and I said, well, I don't wanna do just unboxings, I wanna review other stuff, so I started reviewing a line of figures that I have, and they're all movie-related figures, so my first one, and pretty much the only one I did so far, was for Jason Voorhees, and what I did was I didn't, like, open up the box, I just opened up the flap and talked about all the different details of the packaging and the figure and the different weapons he had, and what got me into the gaming part of my YouTube channel was I used to upload my clips to Facebook, and somebody told me, "You should put that stuff on YouTube. People might watch it." I said, "It's not a bad idea." And so I started putting clips on YouTube, and I'm like, "You know what? I could probably do like full game reviews here too," because I wanted it to be more than just like toys,
Mhm.
And so I said I could do gameplay, I could do game reviews, and which is what led me into Twitch. Somebody else said, if you're gonna do gameplay, you might as well do Twitch and just full game walkthroughs on Twitch, and then throw your like clips, your best of on YouTube, which is what I've done with a couple of the videos. And I'm working on a few right now, but as far as the game reviews go, that's something I wanted to start this year. And it's not, like I said before the podcast, it's not really gonna be like a review, like a score, like here's a 10 out of 10 game. No, it'll just be like my final thoughts on a game. And what I'm thinking about doing is like a first impression and then a last impression. And one game that I can think of that's good for that I played recently was Days Gone. Started it up, initially did not like it because of the story being just all over the place for me. It wasn't like Horizon where it's like, okay, here's your main story quest, here's your side quests, and here's the miscellaneous stuff you just got to do. It was just like, I don't know what's what. I don't know, is this a main quest? Is this a side quest? I can't
Mhm.
really tell. But as I got to playing it and getting closer to the end, I said, this game's actually pretty interesting. And my opinion on it changed after about the middle of the game. So that's something I could do in a review, just my impressions of it. Because I started it last year, beat it like 5 months later. Nobody cares about a review at that point. It's
Mm,
just like impressions after that, like why you should play this game or give it a chance. Um, and I'm gonna do that for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I recently beat that, and my initial opinion of the game changed drastically at the end of it. So uh, that's something I want to do. And then we want to review movies, like recap movies, like talking about Super Mario Brothers and what I liked about it as a kid, what I remembered as a kid, watching it now and being like, not quite as good as I remember it. Um, So that would be like a 2-part video. Like would start with the here's what I remember, and even if it's a video my wife hasn't seen, I'll explain it, and then we'll cut to the after we watched it, and then she would give her opinion on what she thought of it versus what I still think of it now. So if it's something I've seen 100 times, what she thought of it watching it for the first time, as opposed to me watching it for the 200th time.
I I love the idea of just like a review channel. I myself am a reviewer.
Mhm.
I've only reviewed one thing though, and it was hot. It was a hot topic. I reviewed the Bud Light seltzers
Yeah,
when
that was
I
a
they
good
remember
when they
that.
one.
first came out, and my initial reactions, I gave them very high scores, and then I kept drinking them that night, and I can't stand them. I think they're terrible now. So I'm sorry, White Claw, for ever dissing on you. I'm fully back to you right now. But I love the idea of doing the review, and I think you do a really you hit it on the head when you do an initial reaction, because like my initial reaction on the Bud Light seltzers, I was like, these are really good.
Mm.
But then it changes as you start playing or drinking more in
Mhm.
my case. Um, so it's kind of, it's your initial reaction, and then it's your overall summary of what you think the game or beverage, whatever reviewing actually was. And I think that's a great idea for a YouTube channel. YouTube's perfect for that.
Yeah.
It's a really good avenue to do it. Mendy, if you had to review anything, what would you review? Like turtles, jet skis? What
Yeah.
would be your review if you had a YouTube channel?
I think you said both of them. I would maybe not review turtles, maybe like some sort of turtle channel where I can tell people don't get one.
You should. I don't know why or how I stumbled in. So
Ooh.
YouTube's crazy, right? Everything's out there.
Yeah, it is.
There's one thing. I think I'm like even subscribed to this person. This is Manny. This is what you have to and need to do. He just cleans his like shrimp tank or something like that.
Shrimp? Shrimp
It's
tank?
like it's like little shrimp. There's like little minnows as well in this
Yeah.
little. And it's like 15 minutes each time. He just goes in, cleans out all the algae, and then just puts like one, like it's like one piece of fruit. It's like a sliced orange or something like that, or a cucumber, and all these little shrimps just run out and then just start eating this
Eating
thing in
it?
a freshly. And it's just like calming. There's nice music in the background.
Does he speed it up or it's in real time?
He'll like edit it down, but
So he does like cuts in between it?
yeah.
Okay.
But it's just like I had it on like at the gym one time. Shout out to the
The
gymmers out
gym.
there. And I could just like see people just like walking by and be like, "What is this kid watching?" It was literally just a shrimp fishing thing. It was weird, but you should do that
With Speedy?
with Speedy. I think
Wow.
that'd be money, and that'd just be pure content. Seeing you just cleaning the tank out a little bit,
Let's do it. I'm down for it.
and then Maddie, we can review it after he gives us the video.
Yeah.
And then I can do
Feel
a
like
reaction
NFL
of your
commentary.
review.
Be like, boom, Mendy goes with the backhand approach on this one. I don't know if that was
Exactly.
good. He's got to really dig down deep to get that corner.
Mm,
Shout out to
Somebody
Speedy.
actually wanted me to do that to review their gameplay, and I'm like,
that's
it's not
interesting.
something I don't know if I could do that. Um, so I ended up not doing it. But as I mentioned before, I forgot to mention it just now, but we were gonna review our trip to Disneyland that we went on recently, and they just opened the new Star Wars ride there. So we want to talk about, and I'm going to post the whole ride itself on
Mm.
YouTube as well. But we want to talk about the ride itself because there's a lot of cool stuff inside of it that I'm just like, how did they pull this off, and how much did it cost?
Hmm.
Because they have the money, and they're probably not going to tell you how much it costs.
Oh, they have the money for sure. And did you get any video of the ride?
Yeah, we did a whole ride through POV. It's a little dark in spots because the ride is supposed to be in space, but we did do a ride through. I had to cut some parts out where we were just kind of sitting there waiting in line, like, not doing anything.
Mm.
But yes, we did get a ride through. It's about 16 minutes long for the
Oh,
whole thing.
wow.
And the reason it's so long is because as you're waiting in line, that's part of the ride. So like stuff is happening while you're waiting in line, and you get like you get in this little transport ship, and you get transported, taken hostage by Kylo Ren, and then you're still waiting in line after that.
At least it's entertaining. They give you something
Yeah.
while you're waiting in line.
Yeah, I mean, the line goes quick now because they do boarding passes, but
Hmm.
once they stop doing that, the wait times are probably gonna be ungodly.
Oh God.
I don't wanna think about it.
Oof. Is there anything else you plan to review for 2020, or is 2020 going to be the start of the game reviews and the movie reviews for your
Um,
YouTube channel?
Eventually, I'm gonna try and go back into the toy reviews. I did one with my little nephew,
Nice.
and then YouTube changed their rules about having kids in videos, and I said this one can't go up because it could end up in a kid's channel, and it was about a Chucky figure. It was his idea. He wanted to do it, and it was a great video, but I can't upload that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
YouTube just did like a drastic change on
they
the
did.
uploads recently, and for the non-experienced tech people like myself, it really threw me off for the start. So I've actually gone away from putting stuff up on YouTube just for that. I just don't want to risk anything happening on YouTube. I don't want to get in trouble at all. So I'll stick to the Twitch and then just Instagram and stuff like that. I find
Yeah.
it easier.
Even certain games that I uploaded some stuff from SpiderMan, and I got hit with a copyright claim because there was a song in the background in one scene of the game that was licensed music. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
And
I mean
how would you know that?
Yeah, and
that's gonna
so
be
I
me.
just
That's gonna be me. If I upload stuff to YouTube, that's gonna be me.
Yeah, I'm always worried about that stuff too, because when we upload things on Good Game Report, you never know, like, could the song flag something, or is it a copyright? Like, it's kind of a guessing game at this point.
It's just safe to me. I would love to do the mystery box review. I think I would have a lot of fun doing that. So what do? You just buy like $100 box and you don't know what's in it?
so I can't get to it right now because it's behind my backdrop. But I bought a box of Universal Monsters, and they're these little figures about that big, and there's 12 in each box. I have one for that and one for Ghostbusters, and I don't know what's in any of them. So when I open it up, if it's one that I really want, I'm likely gonna freak out and get excited. I think there was one, it was for WWE, and one of the wrestlers I wanted was one of the ones I got, and I was so excited for it. So yeah, we buy them cheap if they're on clearance. We just buy a bunch of them, or we just get like maybe 4 or 5 or 6 and open those up, and then just go from there. But if it's like a brand new one, because those things can go up $5 a box. So buying a whole box of 12 for $5 each can be a little expensive. So we'll just get them when they're on clearance.
I think there's actual mystery boxes out there, and if someone
Mm.
can point me down into this genre, please do, because I think everybody wants a claw party mystery box unboxing
Just
boxing stream. That would be so sick.
Like Bean Boozled, where you get like booger flavor.
I don't even. I've seen some videos where like you open it up and there's like iPhones in it, and it's a really. But I've also seen like the dark stuff too, with like people do like really creepy stuff. So I'm gonna stay away from that and focus more on hoping that an iPhone pops out. Or
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be very very. I think it'd be a cool stream. um, I think we're getting towards that time, fellas. And Maddie, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for
Yes.
going into this retro and game reviews and movie reviews stuff, because you're the only one in Good Game Report that does this avenue, and it's really entertaining, and I personally love it because it gives me a chance to go back and connect to my childhood, like we were saying earlier. So thank you for coming on. Thanks for talking about the retro stuff with us. Big preach on that.
Big
We
years.
use this point right now to do any plugs. So if you have anything you'd like to plug, your YouTube channel, whatever you'd like, this is yours, your time here. So all you, my guy.
So most of my social medias are named the same thing: Instagram, Twitter, um, Twitch are all Matt's Geek Corner, one word. YouTube and Facebook are Matt's Geek Corner and Reviews because that was my original name before somebody said it was too much and I had to shorten it. Um, that's about it for that. And I do have a Discord as well. It's also Matt's Geek Corner. You can find a link in my Twitch channel.
And if you have any retro gaming questions, please feel free to reach out, join his Discord, ask about it, because I feel like it's something that people might want to do and go down the road of playing old games, and they might have a question about, what do I need to buy to get it? So if you have any of those questions, please feel free to reach out, and Matt will definitely help you out with that. Mendy, you got anything, any plugs?
I just want to give a shout out to all my years. Big preach.
All the two out there. What's up, yours? Scoot and Stav, the yurts. No, anything you got? Any big preachers?
Any big preachers? I just wanted to pretty much go off what you said, Matt. Thank you again for being on here. Always a pleasure, and I love going into your streams because I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, it just brings back my childhood whenever I see you playing those old games. I love watching it. I highly recommend going to watch Matt's stream. It's awesome.
I can see a worm Jimmy eat thing.
Oh, and please play Earthworm.
It's funny. I actually played that on a mouse and keyboard back in the day. It was harder than using a controller, but I played it. And yes, I'll play both of them.
I'm gonna be sick that day from your stream.
I mean, then you won't get to see what we're talking about.
Yeah, stop. Sure. Come on.
You won't get to see the booger backpack, the snot backpack, the princess, what's her name, and slug for a butt.
If it's a real game, you're right. I have to check it out. So please let us know.
Yes.
if that ever comes up, and please let us know.
It's letter E, so I'll be getting there soon enough.
Okay. I will be there. If it pops on, I will be there for sure. And for my plugs, I just want to shout out Good Game Report, the Discord, everybody inside of it. The chatter has been continuing to just keep growing and growing, which is crazy, absolutely crazy to see. All the hard work that's going on behind the scenes, like Rebel, Deli, these guys are just really putting in so much work to keep this Discord group and channel. It changes every day, so they're doing a lot behind the scenes to make sure that the Discord is nice, looks good. We're changing rules almost daily. It's crazy. So big shout out to everybody in it and the people that are working behind the scenes, because that's the real engine inside the Good Game Report. The support, love inside there. It's awesome. I love it. Big preach to all of that. Maddie, thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Mendy,
no problem.
Greatly appreciate you. Everybody who tuned in live to the Twitch show, sup. Thank you guys for coming out and watching, listening, dealing with myself and Mendy on a weekly basis. You guys are crazy. You guys are nuts. You guys are absolutely insane. If you're listening to this podcast, thank you so much for tuning in and sticking out. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next Sunday.
Yes.
I'm just going to give one little hint. He's got some serious upper lip hair. So you can tune in. That we'll announce on the raid on Wednesday who it will be. It's going to be a great one. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Big preach. We'll catch you next week. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for playing. GG's over.
See you guys.